Would be. So here they are. If you look up high and right now, here they are coming in, led by Sid Shirley. More about the team members in a moment. Please welcome Team Raven. So the first manoeuvre they're coming into, they're pulling up into their big Vic loop. And you can see just how superb that is. Their formation really superb. Lovely looking aircraft, aren't they? Extremely well balanced, a real pleasure to fly. Plenty of room in there as well, and lots of fuel to get yourselves a little tour around France if necessary. Performance is very good. The climb rate is great against most typical club aircraft like Cessnas and PA-28s. But they're not carbon fiber rocket ships, these, like the extra 300s you're going to see later on. But they are, however, fully aerobatic, and they've got a very good G range as well. You'll hear lots about G later on. Now here we go for the underside pass. Now once this is complete, Raven 5 will flick out of the formation straight out to sea. But meanwhile, here come the remaining 4 ships for a barrel roll. Now that's basically describing the flight around the outside of a big classic old barrel, and that can be very demanding for the guys on the outside. Pretty straightforward in the middle there, but they are working. We don't actually have a landing craft in the bay, because that would have been a really spectacular item indeed to have put on the inventory this afternoon. So not having had one, I thought he would have departed after his wing waggle flyby there. The actual display is configured around an airfield or a strip of some sort. So great that he just fitted that one as well in, and you could get a chance. So now as a result of that, you get a chance to give him a second wave by if you missed him the first time. And an opportunity again to see this superb profile. Particular aircraft, although it was designed for counter-insurgency work, was also used extensively for forward air control, and Tony giving us a second wing waggle there just for good measure. Clearly enjoying himself this afternoon. This actual aircraft, though, was employed on towing roles in Germany. 18 aircraft were delivered there in the 70s, and a sporting... played a major part in achieving ultimate victory in World War II. Nothing like a victory roll to set the heart and emotions running as the goes off into...
One of the most experienced aerobatic pilots in the world, and he's done a fantastic job of training the team up this year. We've got 2 new team members, Gerald Cooper and James Scott. Sharing all your videos and photos with us today. It's our first air show of the season. We've got a jam-packed season, and we'd love to see all your photos. And if we look out to our 12 o'clock again, we'll see Kirsty Murphy. Like I said, Kirsty is the only ever female runner, and while we look out into the distance, we'll see blades 1 and 4, and they're doing some smoke. And again, knife edge spins for you. This is a fantastic view to witness. And again, a wonderful photo opportunity as they walk backwards through their own smoke.
Truly exceptional character, and you're very lucky to have him in your team.
As Gerald finishes his solo, if we look out to the right, we'll see phase 1 and 3. And this is for the Gatling. Phase 3 will barrel roll around phase 1 smoke. As they come from right to left here. Gerald's still going.
That was exceptional, that manoeuvre. That was a bit like being inside a washing machine on fast speed, wasn't it?
And we see here Kirsty's working hard to inflect her rolls around as they smoke. This is also a wonderful photo opportunity.
UK. Too late, we're dodging left and right, and you're now flying straight down fly line. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, put your hats in the air, your ice creams, your umbrellas, whatever you've got, because you've been entertained by Richard Goodwin in the G-Whiz Muscle Biplane.
Watch for the final cross now as synchro departs left and right. Reverse battle go calls red one. The Jets normally even numbers on the right, odd on the left, but in reverse battle they're the opposite way round. As they're about to turn the smoke off, they'll transition back to their normal places through the slalom. Back into their normal places now, the coloured smoke is about to come on as Enid fly past with the battle presents. Complete calls red 9 as they finish the corkscrew manoeuvre. Keep your
Goes
eyes to
lying
the
down
back.
again, still stretching out the arms and waving away. Five aircraft in the inventory at their airbase up near Cirencester, and of course frequently field 2 or 3 different team performances every day during the course of the British summer. The girls seeing each other, waving away, stretching out. Do give them a wave if you never. Oh my word! Look at how the gymnastic positions they are adopting against. And remember, those winds are about 120, 130 miles an hour that they're standing up in. Smoke coming in, Kane maintaining the altitude, so the girls staying exactly where they are, still stuck to the. Oh, they're diving down now, and this is the speed is pulling up. They'll be pulling up now. What will they do next? Let's wait. Oh, it's going to be a roll. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. And a really tremendous sight. Girls there just hanging on, not being out there. Of course, it's they are not able to talk to the pilots. Girls just training, doing it on hand signals. Kirsten on the back there, taking her lead from Katie on the front wing. Coming right. This is an opportunity for the girls now to unhitch from their tethers on the top of the wing. They have a couple of favoured positions to take up on the top of the wing. They do their manoeuvres in formation, just as the boys fly the aircraft in their own formation as well. It was frequently pressed into roles that it was not really designed for, such as long-range fighter and night fighter roles, thus becoming effectively the very first multi-role aircraft. The crews liked the Blenheims, and Winston Churchill himself paid homage to their bravery, comparing them to the charge of the Light Brigade. This particular aircraft, though, the fruit of a long restoration program of immense determination by the team at the Aircraft Restoration Company. It was recovered in a derelict state in Canada. It was restored once to fly after a 12-year project, made its debut flight in '87, but was then tragically wrecked only 4 weeks after its return to the air. But the second restoration were determined, after all that effort, to ensure that a Blenheim would fly again, and a decision was made to resurrect another Blenheim. This one took 5 years in the restoration phase, and it's just tremendous to be able to see that. Himself put up the money for this development of this aircraft. He actually paid for half up front, which in that day came to £18,500. Even get you a piece of the engine these days. Maiden flight of the aircraft was conducted from Filton Aerodrome, South Gloucestershire, of course the same base that became the British Aviation Company's, British Airspace Company's base, and of course the Concorde factory. There's a little story coming up with City of Exeter Spitfire as well, also relating to exactly the same airfield. In the last minute of this display now, and it's a very fine and unique aircraft, of course, and painstakingly restored by John and his team at Duxford. Mark 1 Blenheims equipped a total of 2 home-based squadrons as well as 11 overseas, and they were in locations such as Egypt, Aden, Iraq, India and Singapore. And then further squadrons received the more capable Mark IV aircraft entering Royal Air Force operational strength by the outbreak of the war. The C-130 fleet at RAF Lyneham, that's an ammunition. It stands from the beginning, basically. Commanding the Lancaster today is Twiggs, or Flight Lieutenant Tim Dunlop, to refer to him properly. He was brought up in Nottingham, studied aeronautical systems engineering at Salford. He joined the RAF in 1997. And that was after working for a short time as a compressor design engineer for Rolls-Royce. So if anything goes wrong with either of those aircraft today, both these commanders with an excellent pedigree of aeronautical and engineering training behind them to fix whatever the problem is. Tim was also posted on to C-130s at Lyneham, flying the Hercules, and went on to become captain of the tactical air transport role. He was involved in several worldwide operations in Iraq, Afghanistan, and the Congo. Talked for a while on the Tutor. That was the little training aircraft you saw earlier on today, before he moved on to 45 Squadron to train multi-engine pilots on the King Air, before moving on to standards within that squadron. So both these guys with an awful lot of fixed wing experience, ideal therefore to do this sort of close formation work. These are big aircraft, of course, to be in formation. Very unwieldy, they take up a lot of space, so an awful lot of work has gone into this. It looks very simple, but they are not the easiest things to maneuver, particularly at low level. C-47, the military version of the DC-3 airliner, first flew in 1935 and used extensively by America's airlines, of course. But recognizing its potential as a military aircraft, the United States Army Air Command specified a few changes. DACs in RAF service. Entered service first of all not in the UK but in India in 1942. The delivery of large numbers of the DACs revitalised the RAF's transport capacity, which until then had been based on a number of obsolete bombers and general purpose aircraft. They were poorly adapted for the role required. Eventually, DACs made up 22 Royal Air Force squadrons and 3 Royal Canadian Air Force squadrons, all under RAF operational control. And they served in every theatre of the war, most notably in Burma, but also during the D-Day landings and the airborne assault on Arnhem in 1944. Now, coming up very shortly as they come into the centre, I'm expecting to hear a very unusual call from the lead aircraft in the Dakota. Let's stand by and watch. I think maybe one more turn before that break. Flying the aircraft today, we've got Seb Davey, Flight Lieutenant, leading in the Dakota. Used to being on the south coast very much himself because he comes from Formby up near Merseyside, but he did study down here in University on the south coast. Completed his initial officer training at Cranwell in 1999 and went on to become a multi-engine pilot, being sent initially to the C-130 squadrons at Lynham.
The aircraft will climb skywards into the Gorney corkscrew, rotating and climbing up to 800 feet. This manoeuvre was originally developed to assist the crew in negotiating the Gorney Vakuf Metal Factory helicopter landing site when Chinooks were operating in Bosnia, to ease the complex arrival and departure directions whilst mitigating the threat. Starts positioning to the 315-degree spiral descent. The 27 Squadron team are proud to bring you the Chinook display alongside their operational and frontline deployment commitments, conducting regular duties, training and tasking, as well as bringing you all this display.